In this video, I'm gonna break down how to read the serve like all the top liberos out there in the game right now, improve your serve receive, and find a way to stick that pass every single time. Let's get right into it. When I think of some characteristics of the best liberos out there in the country right now, especially in the NCAA, I think of a couple things. First one is taking up a lot of the court. How much court can you take up in serve receive? Are you taking just a one zone? Are you taking a zone and a half? Are you taking up half the court? You look at some of the better liberos out there and better passers in the game, they're able to cover a lot of ground and make the lives easier on their outsides by taking balls in the seams and freeing them up to attack. Some of the better passers out there are also able to pass out of their body line and consistently find ways to contact that ball outside of their midline, especially when it's far and out of their reach in the seam, still putting up a good quality ball. Even if it's not a perfect pass, it's still settable on those really tough serves that come in with a lot of pace. And lastly, you don't see the top liberos, top passers in the country get aced a lot. They might have, a bad pass here and there, but generally those passes still lead to out-of-system sets and the offense can run and function on those out-of-system passes. So by limiting those zeros, limiting those complete aces and shanks, you're one of the better passers out there on the court. Speaking of the NCAA, there's a couple liberos that come to mind. When I think of the top liberos in the game, a lot of them are rising sophomores this year, freshmen last year, and I'm looking for all of them to make a big jump heading into this 2026 NCAA season. My list of top liberos are going to be Kellen Larson from Long Beach, Jacob Reilly from Pepperdine, Stef Kins from George Mason, Merk from Penn State, and Johnny Dykstra from USC. In this video in particular, I'm going to focus on Stef Kins. Have a lot of film from George Mason, most recently from our fall ball scrimmage with Marymount. So we'll focus a lot on his game, some of his intangibles, and some of the things he does really well to read the setter and really serve receive with a lot of proficiency, no matter who the server is coming at him. I have kind of three overarching themes that I want to touch on before I dive into some film of Stef. The first one is, as much as we want to read the serve, a lot of it is reacting. We're going to react a lot to where that ball's going, how it's cutting. If it hits the tape, what's the effect going to be on the ball in terms of the trajectory? You can put yourself in the best position possible based on how that server is lined up and contacts the ball, but ultimately it's your vision and ability to move your body to get into a good position to react from what you're seeing. Two, I think there's a sweet spot when passing. Finding that sweet spot on your platform is just a thing that Stef does better than most people out there in serve receive. He finds positioning and body structure to get low when he needs to, and to find his platform into a place where he knows he's going to get it close to the setter and near perfect pass every time. And lastly, there's just some general mechanics, whether it's his hips, his feet, his X passing, his platform breaking, a lot of just mechanical things that he does really well technically that sets him apart from other passers, and he does that on a really consistent basis, which leads to a lot of success for Mason offensively. Like I said earlier, a lot of the film we're going to go over in this film study is going to be from our match against George Mason just a little bit ago in fall ball. Looking at this first serve here from Johnny Pickering, George Mason is in rotation 4, so you have a front row setter, and Stef is coming out of zone 1 here. And you can just see how much court he's taking up. He's taking up nearly half the court, and Rob and Aiden are taking up the left side, but generous amount of court that he's taking up. And you can see as that ball's tossed, he's taking a couple shuffle steps left into that spot where he wants to contact the ball, and he assumes where that ball is going to be served to. It's really tough to serve this ball straight down the line, and even harder to cut this ball with pace down this line as well. So he knows by starting outside and coming in, setting up in really good position, he's going to be able to pass this ball really well. A couple things here on the technical standpoint. Number one, he gets his feet set by the time that ball is crossing the plane. Once it's over the net, you have just a split second to react, so he's in position by the time that really fast jump serve is in the plane. Number two, you look at his hips, they're low, and his platform is outside of his midline, so that really gives him a good angle and platform to angle this to target. And you can see the result, perfect pass here. Other things I like to see here, look at his hands, how after contact they're dropping below the ball and dropping low. I think low hands in a platform is really good. The higher typically is when you get more of your misses and more of your misconnects in terms of ball contact on your platform. So I like a nice low base and cushioning that speedy serve to keep it on his side. But yeah, this is just really good mechanics. You see the footwork, he's steady, his arms are secure, his platform's angled, and his base is really stable. He's standing really firm here. I think if you tried to push him over, he would be pretty sound and on the ground. And that's really the position you want to be when you're passing, is steady and firm, and well executed pass here. In the next play, George Mason is in rotation 1. So you see Stef passing from the center of the court here. Another jump serve from Sam. I like how he's starting pretty deep, maybe 3 feet from the back line here. And on toss, he takes a shuffle step and split step right to that semicircle. Again, his feet are set at the time that ball crosses the plane of the net. This is a pretty fast serve, but there's definitely a little bit of dip into it. And I really like the depth that he gets in his hips here and continuing to keep that platform below the ball. I think when you do that, when you have a really low center of gravity, it allows you to control where that ball goes. And although this ball is in his midline, I think this is the kind of serve, just a straight on fast jump serve that you're generally able to control pretty well when you catch it that low and right in the platform. So good adjustments, good little adjustments with his feet, and really good vision with his eyes to track that ball all the way through. Rotation 2 for Mason in this third play, and this time we have Carter at the service line, a lefty with a good amount of spin on his ball and some cutting from right to left, which generally gives passers from trouble. Stef does a good job, again, of starting deep, taking that step in to be in the location where this ball is landing. At the time that ball crosses the net, you can see he's in really good position here, collapsing onto that left leg, and you can see his right leg kind of dangling there, giving him the depth he needs to get low enough for this ball. The wrinkle in this play is this ball trinkles off the net, and when that happens, it falls a little bit further to the right than initially anticipating, but Stef does a really good job of those late hands and keeping his top right shoulder in front and on top of the ball, which allows him to perfectly pass this ball right to target. That's good late reaction and good late movements, right? Still keeping that steady base on the bottom, but moving that platform late to stay behind the ball, which leads to a good result. The next play we'll look at here is from a Georgia Mason match, but this time we're highlighting another libero. This one's of Ryan Merk from Penn State, coming back for his grad year this season. And one guy that was really tough to serve receive last year was Gio Collazo, who had a really good balance of 70 miles per hour serves with a chop serve. And on this one, you can see the feet right on contact. Ryan's getting into that split step, which allows him to react before that ball crosses the net. He knows this ball is going to come short and at least 3 to 4 feet in front of him. So what he does is collapses onto that right knee and stays low with his hips and platform below the ball and just lets that platform do the work, pop this ball up to the center. Good result for Penn State here too. Serve receive is one of those things where you're going to do a lot of reacting. You don't know where the ball is going to go, but the one thing you can do in reception when you are reading is know the history of where your servers like to go. One thing we do in our gym is track the trajectory and the end point of where that serve goes. So if you know favorite shot, the favorite serve, or what the options are for the server, it allows you to set them up and move in reception, move and receive to make them go where you want to pass the ball. The less movement that we have to do as liberos and passers back there, the easier it is to pass that ball. When servers make it tough on us, serving into seams, serving away from our body line in really far places, that's when it gets tough. That's when the aces start to roll in. So limiting that as much as possible by knowing where that ball is going to come, and if not, then making sure we're quick with our feet right at that point when it crosses the net. It's going to improve your passing a lot, from maybe some aces on some of those balls where you're not reacting to right away, to improving your reception to give your guys a chance. And that's all we can ask for. Stef Kins, he is a guy this year that I think he's going to make a massive jump. I think he had a really good freshman campaign. I've seen a lot of film on him. I've watched a lot of his matches. He's pound for pound, one of the better liberos out there, especially in reception. So look for him to make some big plays this year for Mason. And if you're struggling in reception, he's a guy that I would watch, mirror some of his tendencies and match some of his footwork to get to the ball and square up and stay really low to keep his platform where it needs to be. So hope this video helped you a little bit in reception and reading the server. There's definitely going to be some servers out there that are tough with jumps and hybrids and floats, and we can't always predict where that ball is going to go, but we can react appropriately and get our feet and our hips and our platform where it needs to be for success. So hope you got some value out of this video. Let me know in the comments what you want to see next, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.